Hi guys, I hope you're well and welcome to episode 136 of the James Layton Fitness Podcast. Now in this specific episode we'll be discussing nutritional training, what's more important, and more specifically, is nutrition actually more important than training within the context of a fat loss or muscle building phase? Now interestingly enough, a lot of people do believe that nutrition is more important than training within the context of a fat loss or muscle building phase. I'll be discussing whether this is actually true or not. And the reality is this just is not correct. Badly set up calories and macronutrients doesn't make up for a well set up training program and vice versa. Both nutrition and training components have a synergistic impact on each other. Both are just as important as each other. And I want to give you a couple of examples. Let's say, for example, you're in a muscle building phase and you're doing absolutely everything correctly with regards to your nutrition. You're consuming sufficient protein, you're consuming a calorie surplus. Both of those are required for muscle growth. You're doing everything correctly with regards to the nutrition side of things. However, with regards to your training program, you're not focusing on a training program that focuses on progression, progressive overload, increasing volume over time, increasing strength over time. And as such, if you're not doing that, you're not going to build any muscle whatsoever. So even though the nutrition is absolutely perfect, the energy surplus is there, the sufficient protein is there, if you're not forcing the body to adapt and grow via a progressive stimulus by increasing volume over time, remember I talk a lot about volume being the biggest determining factor for influencing muscle growth, which is sets times reps times load. If you're not focusing on increasing that over time, you're not focused on progression, getting stronger over time, you will not build any muscle whatsoever. Similarly, within the fat loss phase, if you're doing everything correctly with regards to your training this time, so your weight training is perfect, you're focusing on lots of compound exercises, you're training body parts twice per week, you're focusing on maintaining as much strength as possible with regards to your weight training sessions, and therefore better allowing you to maintain as much muscle mass as possible in the fat loss phase. In addition to that, you're completing all your cardio sessions perfectly. However, if you're over consuming your daily calorie intake to the point where you're not within an energy deficit, you will not lose body fat regardless of how perfectly set up your weight training program is or cardio sessions are. You will not lose body fat. So again, there's a couple of examples here where one of the components, either the nutritional training, is perfect within the context of fat loss or muscle building phase, but if the other component is not in place, you're not going to achieve your fat loss or muscle building goals. Additionally, you often see some individuals just focus on losing body fat by reducing their calories. Even though you can lose body fat and weight by doing this, I would not suggest doing this. The reason why is this isn't going to give you the figure you're actually after. You need that weight training component in place to maintain as much muscle mass as possible for females and males. For females, you want to have well-developed glutes, defined legs, defined shoulders and arms, and that happens from having the weight training as the foundation of your routine. And therefore, by just focusing on reducing calories, you're going to lose weight, you're going to lose body fat, but you're not going to have the figure you are after. So the key takeaway from this podcast is to focus on both components, both the nutrition and the training component. Both need to be optimal to lose body fat or to gain muscle. This is such an important point because, as I mentioned, there's a big amount of people that believe that nutrition is far more important. It just simply is not the case. Focus on both components with regards to fat loss and muscle building. So thank you very much for listening. If you're still yet to subscribe to the podcast, please do, as these podcasts are coming out every single week. We're now at the episode 136 mark, and I've just looked at my stats online for how many people have downloaded the podcast. So we're now almost at the 87,000 download mark, which is absolutely incredible. So I'm really striving to get to the 100,000 download mark before the end of the year 2017. So that's my target. So if you've been one of these individuals that's been listening to multiple podcasts throughout the time I've been doing these, now seems like a hell of a long time, then thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. It does really mean a lot, so thank you very much. If you're still yet to download my free ebook, How to Set Up a Nutrition Plan, if you go to James Layton, Layton fitness.co.uk, you'll see a tab at the top of the page called free ebook, and you can download that immediately. I look forward to speaking to you next week. Thank you very much.